the fire artifacts are the fire gems we see from the fire artifacts are actually quite interesting. So off of the Vex wand, we get this gem of conflagration, and it actually has plus 25% fire time on it. Now, that's a very substantial boost. My fire skills on this character aren't currently leveled, but if you look at my fire time bonus, it's 25% at level 40. It goes up to 37.5% at level 60, 20 levels later. So 12.5% in 20 levels, 25% per 40 levels, just like we see with our a level 40 skill. So this is worth 40 levels of that skill. That's a 4x passive. So if you add this on both weapons and you add this to your chest, that's actually 120 levels of that skill. It's a very significant fire time bonus. And that's going to increase the duration of your stuff, like your Ring of Fire, your the time your dots from your Meteor Shower are ticking away on the mob, those sort of things. So it's very powerful, but it's very interesting. Because if you socket this into a wand, for instance, or socket two of them into a staff, you lose the 25 attunement that you would normally be able to socket into that wand in the form of an imbued sorcery gem. But you also lose the attunement you'd be able to get from enchanting on that imbued sorcery gem. So you don't get any unique fire enchant. So you lose the attunement enchant. You also lose the fire damage, the 4.x percent fire damage, 4.2-ish or 4.5-ish or whatever you get depending on your level. So actually, if you want to have this on a pair of wands, you lose the 25 plus 25 plus 17 or 18 plus 17 or 18 attunement. So over 80 attunement total you're losing, plus you're losing about 8 or 9% fire damage to get this fire time up. So maybe in niche situations, this is something a caster might use. It might make more sense for somebody who's not primarily a caster. They might decide this makes more sense for attunement for them for however they're running their build, if maybe it's a melee fire build or something of that nature. But if this gets used much at all, I think it's probably going to be mostly on the chests, I would guess. Where you're still losing attunement, you're still losing the 25 attunement you could put on in the form of an imbued sorcery gem, but you're not losing the extra 18, 17, or 18 attunement from your enchant, and you're not losing the fire damage because those don't enchant to chest pieces. And as it is now, fire mages don't typically take any of the chest enchants. They typically just do an int stack and then add their fire gem or something along those lines. For high-end fire chests, that's normally what you see. Fire Summoner is the gem that drops off of the offhand, the Vex Spark. It just adds fire elemental summon power. So if you're trying to do pure summon stuff, that might be interesting. Volatile Embers is very similar to the Conflagration. This gem drops off of the Embers wand, which no longer in its artifact form has fire speed, but you do get it off the gem. And you get a lot of it. This is a lot of fire speed. It represents a significant amount of XP if you compare it to how high your skills would have to be to get that much fire speed. And that's a very important stat for mages. It's a very, very powerful stat to have fire speed, but again, over a pair of wands or over a staff, it costs you over 80 attunement and 8 or 9% fire damage. So again, I'm not so sure this one's going to see a lot of use. It'll be interesting to see how mages prioritize that, but that's a huge amount of attunement to lose. Especially since mages have backed off. So the way attunement works is it's not a linear curve. As you get more and more attunement, there are diminishing returns. You really have to start poking into the high attunements to really start feeling those diminishing returns. They're pretty subtle at the beginning. But since the attunement off of Warlock Chains and certainly off of Vex Wands themselves and off of the actual artifact rings, the actual fire attunement rings, has been dropped so much, a lot of mages are really pushed back on that curve to where it is a pretty linear loss or linear gain whether they lose or add attunement. So I think a lot of them are going to be prioritizing imbued fire gems, and they're not going to be doing these. I haven't actually tested the enchants on them. If these do give fire attunement or fire damage enchants, that changes it some, but going by what the devs have said on stream, I don't think there's plans to add that. Maybe they will add that, but I certainly don't think it's in now. And we'll do some testing a little bit later on them to confirm that, but I don't think it's in now. And Ring of the Flaming Fist, you'll see this for all the fists. Stone Fist, Ice Fist have one as well. This is what gets salvaged off of the actual ring. So if you salvage a fire ring artifact at rare or higher, you have a 100% chance to get this. And it just adds a straight 15% Flame Fist damage. So The 4 strength, the 2 dexterity you see on there, that's from the ring itself. That's just, we put it on a blank meteoric iron ring just so we had something to put it on and see the effect. But 15% flame fist damage, and again, that's in line with other magic rings, the kind of stat they give.